Okay, I hope the first session has given us better insights into ETFs. Now, my job here really is to wrap things, okay, because now we know ETFs, and ETFs is an instrument, okay, and an instrument is like an ingredient that you use to cook, but it doesn't make sense unless we know our recipe. So what I'm trying to do here is to try and give us that recipe, and I'm touching on that topic on retirement, okay. Now, I have quite a bit to talk about in the next 45 minutes, okay, especially on that part, on the CPF part. So I'm going to go really fast, unfortunately, okay, but I'll try and slow down on those parts that are maybe just a bit more complex, yeah. But I can encourage you, don't try to copy, okay, because if you try and copy, you're going to miss some of the important things that I'm going to say, and then you may not be able to follow me for the next slide, because anyway, these things are going to be uploaded. So you can go and visit it, and if you really want to go and memorize it, okay, then you go and memorize it when it's up on the web. But meanwhile, just listen to me and follow me very closely. Are we okay? Give me some encouragement. Are we okay? Thank you very much. Okay, so let's start, okay? So question is, when can we retire? Now, I want to start first by talking about the 3 things that you must have in retirement. Now, if I distill it down to the bare minimum, okay, of course, things are not so simple, yeah, but if I distill it down to the bare minimum, okay, there are 3 things that we must have when we retire. Okay, the first thing that we must have is we must have a house to stay, and a fully paid house to stay. That's the first thing that we must have at retirement, and I'm sure we all agree. Okay, the second thing that we must have is that we must have a good medical expense insurance to pay for hospital bills, just in case we need to visit one. Okay, and hospital bills are expensive. Yeah? So we need to have a good medical expense insurance, and it is in the form of a Shield plan. And by the end of this year, we all know that it is compulsory for all Singaporeans to have MediShield Life. Yeah? Yeah? But MediShield Life only, you're supposed to use MediShield Life only if you are happy with staying in what kind of ward? B2 or C ward, the subsidized ward. If you're not happy with B2 and C ward, okay, and I don't have time to tell you why, you should really give yourself an option for a better ward, okay, but if you want a better ward, you cannot just be satisfied with MediShield Life, you need to upgrade. And there are 5 insurance companies in Singapore that sells these Shield plans. You have AIA, GE, Prudential, Aviva, and NTUC Income. You can go and see your agents, see your advisors, you can buy these Shield plans. Yeah? Now, that's the second thing we must have. The third thing that we must have is that we must have money every month to fund our expenses. Make sense? Yeah. Now, I've broken it down into 2 parts. Okay. Now, for your monthly income to fund your lifestyle, okay, the first thing you must have is that you must have this thing called the Safe Retirement Income Floor. What is that? That is, regardless of the volatility of the financial markets, you must have this sum of money. So the markets can go up, go down, and regardless of how long you live, you must have this sum of money to fund your lifestyle. Make sense? Yeah? And so for that, you can buy into things such as an annuity plan. An annuity is a kind of insurance that pay a monthly amount until we see God. Yeah? And you can either buy the CPF annuity, okay, or CPF annuity means CPF Life lah. And if the CPF annuity is not enough for you, you can go and buy the private annuities from the insurance companies. For those of us who are financially more able, you can go and buy the individual bonds. Yeah, because bonds gives you a coupon. But as you know, in Singapore, you need to have quite a big sum of money to buy bonds, in the region of about 250,000 Sing, to buy one issue of bond. Very few retail bonds. Yeah, but for those of us who are able to, then you can consider buying bonds. And you all look like you are able to. So nod your head and say, I'm able to. Okay, so this kind of instruments will give you a monthly income, and it settles your, what I call, minimum income floor, must have. Now, once you have done that part, then if you want to have a much better lifestyle, okay, because this kind of instruments, while it is good, the returns are not very high. Okay, and so if you want to have a better lifestyle, you want to have more, okay, and the better lifestyle is by your definition, okay, not by my definition. If you want more, then you can go and invest in the more aggressive stuff like for example stocks. And you can use ETF as one way of investing into the stock market. Yeah? Okay, we've talked about it. I won't spend any more time talking about that. Now, some of us are into property. You can go and buy properties to collect rental income if you understand the risk and return. Some of us love property stocks. Some of us like real estate investment trusts. You can go and do that. Those are more aggressive, but it's an option for you. Okay, so far? But at the basic level today, if you walk out today, okay, at the most basic level, the three things, die, you must have. Okay, one, you must have this house. You must have at least a MediShield Life, which you will have. Okay, and the third thing you must have is that you must at least have an annuity, at least minimum. Okay, once you have these three things, okay, can safely say that you will have a basic retirement. Okay, anything else above, you go and think about it. Okay, the orange one. Are we okay so far? So now I'm going to zoom into annuity. Okay, because this thing, especially the CPF annuity, is not easy to understand. Agree? It's quite complicated, the system. Yeah. So over the next 20 minutes, 25 minutes, I'm going to try and explain CPF minimum sum, CPF life, basic plan, standard plan, and which plan do you choose. And if you die too soon, what will happen to your money? Okay, so it's going to be fast and furious. Alright, so don't copy, don't bother, okay? Just listen. So let's start. Now, let me just say this. CPF Life doesn't replace the minimum sum. CPF Life is an enhancement of the minimum sum scheme. Now, assuming that the old minimum sum scheme, let's say it's still applicable to all of you. Okay, and actually, it is not really applicable to most of you, especially for those of us who turned 55 this year or turned 55 2 years ago. The minimum sum scheme really don't apply to, in a way, don't apply to you. Okay, let me explain. Okay, let me explain. Now, so assuming you are now down here, regardless of your age, and as long as you are before 55 years old, you need to contribute into the three accounts. It's a bit small, but the three accounts that we have to contribute. The first account is. Come on, shout it out for me. Ordinary account. The second account is special. The third account is MediSave. Your ordinary account, what is the interest rate? Minimum, floor rate. 2.5. Okay, regardless of what happens, smelly, you get 2.5%. Okay, how about your special account and your MediSave account? At this moment, smelly, you get 4%. Okay, so you will contribute into these three accounts, and let's say at the age of 55, if you can't see from the back, let me read out for you. Your total CPF, let's say, is 200,000. Doesn't matter if you have lesser, doesn't matter if more. Just look at this as a number. Let's say this guy has got 200,000, and the rule says that you can take out everything after you set aside your minimum sum. So at age 55, okay, we will take, not me. Okay, CPF board will take your minimum sum, which by July of 2015, it is going to be 161,000. Okay, come July this year. Okay, and so you can withdraw 39,000. 200,000 minus 161, you can withdraw 39,000. Correct? Is my math correct? Great. Okay, so at age 55, you will get your retirement account open for you, and this 161,000 will be transferred into your retirement account. Okay, and you take out $39,000. But do you think Singaporeans happy or not happy? Not happy. Why? Because I saved my whole life 200,000, can only take out 39,000. So not happy, right? But most people, most of us, when we're not happy, we don't say. Because we scared say already kena scolded. So don't say, let other people say. Let other people get sued. We don't say. But inside, not happy. Because I saved 200,000, I can only take out 39,000, right? So there is a way out, actually. And we all know that way. And that way is what? Pledge, right? If you have property or properties, you can use your property to pledge against the minimum sum. And the rule is, you can use your property to pledge up to 50% of the minimum sum. There is only one condition. That condition is the net equity of your house must be more than or equals to the 50% of the minimum sum. Net equity means what? The price that you sell minus any outstanding loan, then the net value. Okay, and if you take 50% of the minimum sum currently, which is 161 or 50% of the minimum sum come July, which is 50% of 161. Okay, it will be very small. Let me read out for you for people at the back. Half of 161 is 80.5K. So if your net equity is more than 80.5K, you can pledge up to 80.5K. Is it possible that the net equity of your house is more than 80.5K? Of course. Our COV sometimes more than 80.5K liao. Right? So it's easily, you can take your property and pledge it. Okay, so let's say you have a house and you decide to pledge it. Pledge meaning to say, you are going to see people and tell them, please don't take 161. I got my house. Okay, I'm going to use my house, okay, to pledge. Please only take the half, the other half, which is 80.5. Are we okay? Yeah? Of course, you can pledge 5,000 also can. You want to make it difficult for the CPF board advisor, you want to pledge $12.50 also can. Okay, you can pledge up to 80,500 lah. Okay, basically. So let's say you pledge up to 80,500. Okay, so now 200,000 minus 80,500, you can now withdraw 119,500. And now you only got 80,500 in your retirement account. Make sense? Yeah, but we all know if you enjoy now, because you now take more money, later you got lesser money. It's like that one. Short-term benefit, long-term consequences. Okay? But you accept that you want the long-term consequences. So you do this. Okay? So you take out 119,500. Okay? Now, your money is in the retirement account. Okay? Under the old minimum sum scheme, you can actually use it for three things. Okay? The first thing you can do is you can do nothing. Nothing is still something. Okay, and if you do nothing, you leave it in the RA, currently you get a guarantee of 4% per year. Okay, but under the old minimum sum, it will only pay for about 20 years, understand? After 20 years, boleh liao, no money. Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing, in the past, you can actually put it in fixed deposit, but nobody in the right mind will transfer money from your RA to fixed deposit unless you really don't like someone. Even if you don't like, don't go against your money. You understand or not? Chinese say, 不要跟钱过不去啦. Nobody will do it lah. Okay, in fact, the bank won't even take. Too low already, the fixed deposit, right? But that's the second thing, the option. The third option is, you can actually buy an annuity. Last time, you can go and buy an annuity, but now don't have. The insurance company also don't sell the annuities that can use CPF to buy. No more. Because they look at their annuity, then they look at CPF Life, then they see no fight, Then what for, right? So they took it up. But last time have, You can actually have an option to buy the annuity. Okay? Now, the annuity return will be lower than CPF Life, okay? Or rather, let me say it again, the annuity return will be lower than your RA return of 4%, but the good thing about an annuity is that it pays forever. RA higher return, pay for how many years? About 20 years. Don't say 20, say about 20. Say about, no, not exactly 20 years, okay? Because interest rate fluctuate, and all that. Okay, so about 20 years. Most people, which one do you think they choose? RA or annuity? RA. Okay, most of us actually, we don't care. And because we don't care, where will it be? RA lor. Because we're so upset. Don't care. So then RA, you'll be in RA. Okay, so when you get RA, then you'll be 4% every year. Okay, then nothing will happen from 55 until 62 because that was the old statutory retirement age, yes? And at age 62, your RA, which is now more because got the 4% interest, will start to pay. How much it pays depends on how much you put in. In this case, you put in about half, which is 80,500, and assuming that the old minimum sum was still around, it will pay about $650 to $700 per month at age 62. This one is my estimate. If it's wrong, it's my number. Understand? I better clarify. Because now no more old minimum sum, so cannot find it from the calculator already. Yeah, but this is my estimate. If it's still around, you would have gotten about $650 to $700 per month, and it will pay for how many years? You learn already. About 20 years. So you pay until about 82 years old. And at 82 years old, the money in RA down here will be completely habis, finished. And if we haven't died, we better go and die. because there's no money inside anymore. Totally depleted. Got me? Got me or not? Okay, I very rush because a lot of things to cover. Okay, so your P182, but the problem is Singaporean living longer or shorter? Longer. So the average life expectancy is going to be until about 85 years old. That's the average. I've got no time to tell you why we are living longer. Okay, but the truth is we are living longer. Okay, it doesn't mean we are healthier. It's just that we are living longer. Okay, because we got money. Money can buy drugs. Understand? Yeah, and nowadays we go for health screening like no problem like that, right? But our older generation, you ask them go for health screening, they will never go on. If I ask my 75 years old mother to go for health screening, she will never say yes because she will say, nothing go for what? Wait, go already, something how? That's what the old people will say, right? But today we go lah. Okay, so therefore we are living longer. But can you see a problem now? Can you see a gap? Yeah, so that's why in 2008, CPF Life was launched to bridge this gap. Okay, so let's talk about CPF Life now. Now, for CPF Life, basically what CPF Board did was they only made 2 changes to the old minimum sum. They tweaked 2 things. The first thing they did was, when you put your money into retirement account, they break it into 2 parts. The first part is still the RA, and then there's a second part that is called AP, which stands for annuity premium. Now, the proportion I will tell you later. Okay, but just suffice it to say for now that the portion that you put into the AP portion, okay, sorry, this color not very visible, but this AP portion, okay, all our AP portion, example, okay, let's assume that today we represent the entire 55 years old cohort in Singapore. All our AP will be put together to buy this national longevity insurance called CPF Life. Understand? Got it so far? Yeah? Then, the second thing that they tweak is this. Okay, basically, they tweak the retirement age. Okay, it's a national thing. It's not a CPF decision, but it's a national thing. We delay our retirement age to age 65 years old because we are living longer. Okay, these are the only 2 things that was tweaked. But don't get it wrong. It doesn't mean that you die must retire at 65. You want to retire at 62, retire lah. In fact, you want to retire now, retire lor. It's just that the money will come out later, okay? But if you are more than able to retire, please go ahead and retire. Don't need to wait until 65, okay? So these are the only 2 things that we tweak, okay? Now, to understand how it works, we must understand the plans of CPF Life. How many plans are there in CPF Life today? 2. It started with 12, then confused like mad. Then we reduced to 4, still confused. So now 2. Maybe by the time I reach 55, maybe 1, I don't know. Okay, but now 2. Okay, what are the 2 plans? Basic, the second what? The second one is standard. Okay, so let me talk about the basic first. Now, under the basic plan, the split between RA and AP is 90 and 10%. What plan is this? What plan is this? Everybody say basic. There's a reason why I make you say, because otherwise you'll be very confused. Okay, when you say it, you remember better. Okay, so basic, 90 and 10%. In this example, you have 80,500 into your retirement account. If 10% goes to AP, about $8,050 goes to AP. Make sense? Yeah, so that's the split, okay? And your RA, okay, basically the 90% of RA will grow until age 65. Your RA now is a smaller RA compared to the minimum sum RA. Does it make sense to you? Because the minimum sum was 80,500 But under this basic plan, 90% of it, only 90% of it will grow, and then you have a bit of interest here. Yes? Yes or no? And then at age 65, CPF Board will take this interest and then also go and put into the CPF Life plan. Okay so far? Okay, then your RA will start to stream out at age 65. Last time it's called drawdown age. Now they're going to change to payout age. Same. Means got money age. Okay, so you will pay. Okay, and it will pay about 600 to 650 per month under the basic plan. What was it under minimum sum just now? 650 to 700. So under the old minimum sum plan, it pays higher. But pay for how many years? About 20 years. Under this is CPF Life, okay, it pays lower, okay, then it will pay around until 85, 90 years old. It's an estimate. Nobody really knows. Okay, because there are many moving parts behind this. Okay, you'll pay until about 85, 90 years old. Then the money in RA completely habis, finished. But now, if we haven't died, we don't need to die liao. Why? Because you use 10% of your money to buy this thing, right? So now this thing, which I could name it AP, which is actually your CPF life, will start to pay about the same. Okay, notice the word I say is about, okay? Because it depends on interest. About the same until when? Until you die, or I don't like the word die, until you see God. Okay, then finish. So it pays forever. Got it so far? What plan is this? Okay, now let me explain the other plan. What is the other plan? Standard. Now, under the standard plan, the split is 50-50. Okay, 50-50. So, same thing, at age 65, CPF board will take 50% of our RA, put inside here. The 50% remaining will grow until age 65, which is an even smaller RA. It's only 50%, but still got interest, right? Okay, now, this is the key difference between the standard plan and the basic plan. The standard plan is this: at age 65, CPF board will ask you, do you have outstanding mortgage or not? And if you say yes, then CPF board will ask you, do you want to take this 50% RA to pay the mortgage or not? If you say yes, then you take and you pay. But if you do that, your amount left will be a lot smaller. Then later on, lesser money lah. But if you say no, I'm a regular attendee of my money seminar. By age 65, I have absolutely no more liability. Okay, then what will CPF board do? CPF board will take this whole thing, okay, semua, everything, okay, RA plus interest, and put it inside CPF Life. Then it will start to pay. And it will pay about 600 to 650, thereabout as well. In fact, okay, this is just an estimate. In fact, listen to me carefully, it should be it should be slightly lower than your basic plan. Got it so far? Yeah, it will be slightly lower. So among the three plans, minimum sum, basic and standard, which one pays the most? Minimum sum, basic, standard, which one pays the most? Minimum sum. But pay for how many years? About 20 years. Basic plan, it pays second highest, it pays forever. The third plan, which is the standard plan, it pays the least. But what's the difference? I'll talk about that later. So far, okay? And it will pay and pay and pay until we see God. Okay, so far? Give me a nod. Are you all confused? No, very good. Okay, so now, I know some of you at the back of your mind, you're going to ask me, what happened if I don't live so long? What will happen to my money? Okay, so let's take a look. Okay, now, let's say at age 55, you choose the basic plan. By the way, the default plan is what plan? Default means you don't choose. Then which plan? Basic or standard? Okay, so let's say you turn 55 years old and you refuse to admit you are 55. So CPF board call you, come on. Then you don't come. Or no, you don't go. Okay, the automatic plan, they give you about 6 months to decide. Okay, if you don't choose, it will be the standard plan. Okay, that is the default. Okay, but let's assume you choose and you choose the basic plan. Okay, now, if you choose the basic plan, okay, don't use you, better use me. Okay, this one bad thing, better use me. So let's say I choose the basic plan at age 55 years old. Then I cannot tahan. At about 57, 58 years old, God calls me to go home. Okay, so no choice. He called, I go. So now I die here. Understand? Have I touched my RA money yet? No, haven't touched. Right? But don't worry. Okay, the money is not gone. The RA plus whatever interest that it has accumulated will be paid to your beneficiaries. Thank you. Okay, beneficiaries. Your beneficiaries can be anyone, not just your family members. I've been speaking for my money for easily 5 years. Consider me. Not paid one, so you can give me, not against the law. Okay, so RA plus interest, understand? Now, let's say you have AP, right? Because AP also not touched yet, right? Correct or not? So this AP, everything semua come out. But you notice no interest? Not that this one no interest. This one interest actually also 4%. But where is the interest? We talk about that later. Just remember AP no interest. Okay? Now, let's say at this stage when God calls me, I negotiated. I say, but I haven't used my CPF life money. Leh. Can go later or not? Then okay lah, let's say can. Then I didn't go here. So I go somewhere here. Let's say 70 years old. Now God calls me again. Okay? And this time round, second time, paiseh to reject. So I go. Okay? So if I die here, have I touched my RA money or not? Okay, but still got remaining not? Still got, right? So balance RA plus interest will go to your beneficiary. My AP touch already? No, it's so far behind. Haven't. Right? I still got AP here, right? AP without interest will go to your beneficiary. Got it so far? But let's say at 70, I still refuse to go. Because my children, they haven't given birth to grandchildren or that. Then I negotiated, cannot, wait a while. Then I actually win, so I never go. So I continue to live until somewhere around 85 to 90 years old. Okay? Maybe nearer to 90 years old. This time round, God never calls me. Okay? But I look around, all my friends no more. So boring already, ma. So I call already. Instead I call, I want to go. Okay, so I go here, understand or I go here. Okay, so by now my RA finish. RA finish not? Finish, right? How about AP? Okay, maybe AP still got some leftover lah, maybe. Then, okay, if I die here, the balance unused amount AP, in this case, which is just $8,050, let's say still got, because maybe don't have already, but let's say still have, will be paid to my beneficiary. In a nutshell, if we die too early, everything is paid back to your beneficiary, except one thing is not paid back. What is that? The interest of your AP. Can see? Where did the interest go? The interest will be put together. All of us here in this 55-year-old cohort in the Republic of Singapore will all be put together to go inside here because CPF has calculated, okay, that let's say, what is average life expectancy? Average life expectancy means this. Let's say we are all 55 years old here. In 30 years' time, okay, in 30 years' time, which we are 85 years old, right? If I call for class gathering, the hall will be half empty. Because half of us would have gone, the other half will remain. Average life expectancy, right? Who go, who stay, check under your seat now. The SIAS team has put sticker to determine who will go and who will stay. And for those of us who go, your interest of your AP, together with the remaining 50% of us still here, our AP capital, plus our AP interest, they have calculated that it will be enough to pay until the last one in this auditorium drop dead. Understand or not? Yeah? Got it so far? That's why the interest is not paid out. But is it possible that the calculation salah? How dare you say we calculate salah? Of course possible. But you know what? It's okay. Okay, because there is another batch of people not in this auditorium that is 54-year-old cohort. You understand? Maybe they over-calculated. You understand? They got extra. So if here salah, take from there first. Then if there salah, take from the next cohort. You understand? It's a law of average. It's like that one. It's like that. Are we okay? Yeah. But we have only one small problem in Singapore. We have an aging population, right? Right, all those young people here is all your fault. You're supposed to give birth to 2, you give birth to 1. So it causes problem because the cohort will get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, right? Then the chance of salah higher, right? Okay, but it's unlikely going to happen to your generation, my generation, our children's generation, maybe our great-grandchildren generation. Maybe it will happen. By then, where are we? Gone. So who cares about them? I mean, in truth, how to care? So far away, right? Then on that time, then we go and consider, You understand or not? Some new policy, CPF Life version 2, I don't know what. Okay? So, are we okay so far with this? Okay, good. Okay, so it will pay, okay, let me see. Okay, so now, How many, like we mentioned, there are two plans, right? Basic and standard. Okay, so the difference is this. For the standard plan, the payout monthly is higher. Okay? The bequest is lower. The basic plan, the monthly payout is lower. But the bequest is higher. Okay so far? Okay, now if you look at this, bequest means die. After die, the money give to beneficiary. Okay, so now survey. Quick one, I got no time already. Survey. How many of you will choose standard plan? You take more, give lesser to your children. Put out your hands. You selfish people. I pity your children. Never mind. Okay, so the rest, I assume you're going to choose basic plan, right? Okay, basic plan. Okay, so but more people chose standard plan. Okay, now I show you the second slide. This slide is, I combine the numbers together. They are real numbers. Okay, now look. This is what happened. This is based on 148 minimum sum. Okay, because I can't find the numbers for higher than this. Based on 148 minimum sum, your monthly payout under standard is this. The payout under basic is this. Can you see that standard only pays maybe like $80 more? $50 to $80 more per month. But if you die at age 65, standard payout is least, basic is like that. Die at age 75, standard payout is like that, basic is like that. Die at age 85, standard finish, basic still have. Die at age 95, in fact if you die about age 90, it should be about 0, so lah. Okay, so now I ask again. I give you 3 seconds to look. The difference is about $50 to $80 a month. Okay, okay, now I ask. Who will choose standard plan? Put out your hands. What, bo liao? Who will choose basic plan? All you clever people. Okay, why? Because the difference is not significant per month, right? But the payout is significant, correct or not? Correct or not? So you'll choose basic plan. Okay, now I ask a final question, okay? Let's say we know, we count. We know that we are all going to die at age 90 years old. Okay, now I ask again. You understand my question? Okay, you count. You know that you're going to die at 90 years old. Okay, who will choose standard plan? Who will choose basic plan? Who doesn't understand my question? Okay, basically, you will choose standard because the end state is the same, right? Both zero, but monthly get more, right? So you will choose the standard plan. Okay, sorry. Last question. Who knows when are you going to die? So what is this for? Actually waste time. This is an academic discussion. So how? So now you look at me and say, well, Chris, you got say like never say. So what is the advice? Okay, the point is this. Please understand that when we design the CPF plans, we are really targeting at the second quintile. Second quintile means if the entire population is broken into 5 parts, the second quintile is part 2. The part 1 is the lowest income. The part 5 is the highest income. You understand? So when we design the plan, it's actually meant for, we think of the second quintile, the second group, the poorer one. Okay, this group on average, their household income is about $1,500 a month. Household, 2%. Okay, it's not a lot. So $100 different per month income, do you think make material difference for them? Yes. For you, does it make material difference? Say loudly. Say no. It's true. What's $100, right or not? $100, you go cafe, finish already. So to you, it's no difference. I myself just choose standard plan. But remember, for the people of the second quintile, actually per month $100 do make a difference. So my point is this. You choose the plan based on your monthly need. Please don't worry about the bequest because we don't know when we're going to die. If $100 difference makes a big difference to you, please choose standard. If the $100 is sub water, then choose basic lah. Got it so far? Okay, let's move. Okay, now I've got maybe like 7 minutes to talk about the 9 CPF recommendation. 还有多少时间? 50 minutes, thanks. Okay, so Okay, 5 minutes. Okay, so 9 recommendations. Okay, because recently CPF advisory panel made 9 recommendations, and then we also have some budget announcements. So I'm trying to wrap it all together for you to understand how these 9 recommendations and the budget will help you and help me. Okay, so quickly the 9 recommendations. Recommendation number 1: the panel assessed that it will be prudent for blah, 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 blah. Okay, so basically just now I said that when we design the CPF plan, who are we thinking about? Which quintile? And we found that under this second quintile people, we look at the Department of Statistics, their household expenditure survey, we found that currently if these people were to retire, this kind of family, one person will need $518 today. I know we cannot think how to survive 518, but there are people in Singapore that survives on 518. Okay, and the CPF advisory panel estimated that based on inflation and their increased standard of living, in 10 years time, okay, in 10 years time, or rather come 2026, okay, we use 2026, about 10, 11 years time, these people will need about 650 to 700 because got inflation. Clear so far? And in order for these people to have 650 per month, the amount that they need to set aside to buy this CPF life is 80,500. Am I clear? 80,500 is the premium you pay for CPF life, the annuity, so that in about 10 years time, it pays 650 forever. Clear so far? Okay. Therefore, this money basic retirement sum is called, or rather this amount of money is called basic retirement sum. Okay. And come 2016, as long as you have a house, that's the second recommendation. There is no need to set aside 161 already. You just need to set aside 80,500. There is no need to go through that difficult procedure of going there to pledge your property. No need. You have a house, you only need to set aside 80,500. Okay, so far? Okay, good. Now, third recommendation is that last time, the husbands, if we want to top up our wife and vice versa, their retirement account, we can only top up if we meet the full minimum sum. That means to say now, my wife is a homemaker. Okay, if I want to top up her retirement account, I must have 161,000 in my own account first. Am I clear? Okay, but the problem is this. Okay, I'm assuming that my wife and me will live together. We know each other together, got married together, gave birth together, live together, and die exactly the same time. But it may not happen, right? So if 161,000 is all under my account, and if I die early, the remaining amount will be so small, may not be enough for her, right? Right? So now, come next year, okay, I'm allowed to top up my wife's account as long as I have got 80,500. So I share two account So I got my own 650, she has her own 650. If I die too soon, it's okay. She cry for 3 days, life go on for her. You understand or not? 3 days, maybe 1 day Yeah, then life goes on for her. She has her own account. Okay, so that's the third recommendation, will be in effect next year. Right? Now also, currently, at age 65, you have no choice. Your CPF life pays out automatically. Okay, but some people, they don't want it to be paid out automatically because they got money, right? And they like the interest inside, right? So they say, don't take out, no. Now can. Okay, you can defer the drawdown until age 70. In fact, every year you delay, your payout is more. Okay? Fifth recommendation. Okay, last time, you cannot, there are people who, if you really understand CPF, you realize that actually it's not too bad a scheme. Okay, and the interest is not too bad. Some people ask, can I top up more than the minimum sum or not? Last time cannot. Now can. Okay, now means next year. Come 2016 can. How much can you top up? You can top up 1.5 times of the current minimum sum, or come next year, there's no such word called minimum sum anymore. It'll be just basic retirement sum. You can top up to 3 times of the basic retirement sum. Okay, 3 times means 241,500. Is that good news? Good news. Not compulsory. You don't top up, don't top up. But if you want, you can put more, up to 241,500. Okay? Now, recommendation 6. Last time, you don't know what is the new minimum sum until near July. Then you, surprise, right? Then you angry. Wow, go up again, right? Now you will know in advance. Okay? You will know how do you know in advance? You just take today's number, you increase it by 3%. No? It is now told to you 5 years in advance. So you will know the number from now until 2020 in advance. Okay, and it will be 3%. It will go up by 3% every year. Okay, this is the hardest one. Okay, come 65 years old. Okay, come 65 years old. Is it time's up already? But not my fault because he late. So, okay, so, I blame people. Okay, so, this one, okay, is to allow you flexibility at age 65 years old. Okay, at age 65, you are allowed to take out 20% of whatever you have in your retirement account, but it will include the 5,000 that you have withdrawn. Because regardless of your balance at age 55, you can take out at least 5,000. And maybe it's good for me to say that if your health is bad, in fact, you don't even have to wait for age 55. If you think that your lifespan is shortened because of a certain health condition, you can go to CPF board anytime. You can take out the money. It doesn't mean you have to wait until 55. Alright? Okay, but anyway, come back to here. At age 55, regardless of the amount you have in CPF, you can take out 5,000. Okay, and so at age 65, you have the flexibility of taking out 20% of your RA balance minus whatever you have withdrawn. Okay, a table will do the trick, okay, to explain this. Let's say at age 55, you have got 85,500. Am I clear? At age 55, okay, your OA plus SA combined together have 85,500. You take out 5,000 at age 55, the 80,500 you put inside your retirement account. This 80,500 will grow currently at what percent? 4%. It will grow and grow and grow, and at age 65, it will be about 125,000. I calculated already. Okay? Then, if you keep this 125 in your RA, at age 65, you will get about 680 per month until death. Okay? However, you now have a choice to take out 20%. What is 20% of 125? What is 20% of 125? $25,000, yes. But you have withdrawn 5,000 at age 55 already, yes. So you can only take out about 20,000, can see? And if you do that, then your RA straight away will drop from 125 to 105, right? And the monthly payout will be about 580. Am I clear? So you make a choice whether you want to take out that 20% out. You don't have to take out at age 65. You can take out lesser at age 65. You can take a bit more at age 66. You can take out later. It doesn't mean that everything must take out one. You wait and see, you need, you take. You don't need, you don't take. Okay? Now, what about people with low balance? Let's assume the last example. This person at age 55, the ordinary account plus special account is 20,000. He takes out 5,000, 15,000 goes into his RA. It will grow. Let's say it grows up to about 25,000 at age 65. Age 65, based on 25,000 in his RA, he will take up $140 per month. Okay? But now he has the flexibility to withdraw 20%, right? What is 20% of 25,000? 5,000, right? But he has withdrawn 5,000 liao, right? Yes or no? So he cannot withdraw anything. Okay, then it will be 140 same. This is to prevent people with low balances to take out the money so that they suffer later in their retirement. Am I okay so far? Okay. Last recommendation is we must provide you financial counseling before you do it. Okay, so you go to CP board, they will counsel you. They will explain to you. Then you decide whether you want to do it or not. Okay, so these are the 9 recommendations. They are part 1 of the CPA Advisory Panel's recommendation. There is still a part 2 coming. Okay, which is towards the end of the year. Okay, great. Last slide, I think. Okay, budget. Okay, budget. Now, in budget February, Finance Minister DPM announced some initiatives. Why? Because based on whatever I have explained so far, it doesn't help you if you are low-income worker. All this initiative is good but if you don't have money in your CPF, OA, SA, nothing to talk, right? You understand what I'm saying, no? Yeah. So in the budget of February, Finance Minister came out with some initiatives to bridge the gap. They are not from the CPA Advisory Panel. We made some suggestions, but they are not. They are from Finance Minister. Okay, so the first thing is, I won't talk about this yet. I'll talk about this extra 1% on the first 30K of your RA. Okay, so you're going to get extra 1% for the first 30% of the RAs. This is to allow people with low balance to have a bigger amount at age 65. Okay, and contribution rate will go up for the older workers. Okay, why? Because the older workers, they didn't get to enjoy all those CPF new initiatives over the last 5 years, like the extra 1% for the combined 60,000 and all that. They didn't get to enjoy. And so in order to help them accumulate more, the contribution rate for these workers will go up. Okay? Now, of course, if they still cannot, then there is all this public assistance scheme and all that. Okay, the other thing that was announced in budget is this Silver Support Scheme. Silver Support Scheme is for people aged 65 and above. These are the people whom not only they didn't get to enjoy all these initiatives, there is no way they can accumulate money anymore. They are age 65 already. So if these people meet the requirement, okay, they are low income, low balance, they will get an average of about $200 per person until they pass away. It is a permanent scheme. Now, is it a lot? It's not a lot. But remember, who are we thinking of when we come up with all these plans? Which quintile? Second quintile. Today they need how much? Per month, how much do they need? 518. Okay? For these low balance people, every month maybe from CPF they are only getting 140. Plus this 200, they are close to about 400. They are still short about $100 per month, Hopefully, their children can give them some allowances. Then we'll just meet. They are really the low balance. I mean, it's as much as we can do. Right now, this is the only initiative that is helping the middle income. Basically, increase CPF contributions into 6,000 so that we save more. Okay, we save more. That we can reach our retirement amount faster. Okay, let me conclude this last slide. Remember, I started with this. Now, what that means is this: regardless of age, and especially for those of us who are younger, please buy a house that you can afford and pay it as soon as possible, so that you have a fully paid house. I read somewhere in the newspaper that more and more Singaporeans want to buy a bigger house, but do consider that the bigger the house you have, it's going to be harder to pay off. Okay? The second thing you must have is you must have this medical expense insurance. The third thing is you must have this monthly income that pays you so that you're able to enjoy a lifestyle. And at the most basic is you must have an annuity plan. This is my personal conviction. You can believe, you can don't believe, okay, that CPF Life is the cheapest annuity plan. Because there's no distributor selling it, there's no commission, it's very hard to get 4% guaranteed every year, and it pays for life. Now, I covered quite a bit. I'm quite sure by the time you walk out of this auditorium, you will forget 95%. So talk for what, right? Okay, you just to go back and remember this thing, okay? That when you sign up with CPF Life, it just pays you an amount every month. For those of us who can afford it, if you set aside, say, 161, for those of us who can afford it, and your spouse also set aside 161, you add up together, it's about 300,000, right? Actually, it's not a lot, 300,000 to retire. You will get about 2,004, 2,005 per month forever, Not too bad, right? It's not a lot, but it's good enough for basic, right? If you have more, then you can buy other things. But at least you get 2,004 every month. And you have a house fully paid. And you have a medical expense insurance. When can you retire? It's up to you. But what if all else fail? Okay, let's say you really don't have enough balance. You have one more thing. You have your house, right? You can monetize it. You can downgrade. You can rent out. Possible. It's not a best option, but it's an option. But what if you really don't want to downgrade and really don't want to sell your house, want to rent your house? How? You got one more last option. Make your children pay for your retirement. If they don't want to pay for retirement, how? You got one more last option. Sue them. Because you got parents' maintenance bill, right? No? So can you retire? I think can. Alright, with that I thank you.